We have with him live in our Mumbai studio, Dr. Valamani. Congratulations. Who would have thought that you would get such a stunning and a breathtaking response?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is much, much beyond than what ever I dreamt.
So what were you dreaming like?
I was dreaming like 10 times.
Okay.
If it happens, it's very good. And once I reached 10 times, I thought when everybody does sometimes 30, 40, why not 25? Then I kept a mark on 34 because the previous IPO in my sector happened at 33. Then I thought VRL should be reachable. But I think
So lesson in life, stop dreaming.
yeah, I think the dream gets renewed it got renewed every 20 minutes, in fact, in the last 3 hours of the closing day.
Let's talk about the dream of Thyrocare though. You know, I've been told that you started off with renting a machine. From there, you built a company like this, and your growth rate has been astounding the past few years. Maybe you can't talk numbers right now, but can you share with your vision about what Thyrocare, a company, could be like over the course of the next few years?
I started this business with no great expectation. I probably wanted to become a decent, self-employed scientist. I think that was the dream. I had invested a 2 lakh rupee into this business, and I think I remained very focused. In Hindi, people tell lage raho. And I think the market had appreciated the way in which I did things. My aim was not to do a front end, my aim was to do a back end. Thyroid desperately needed someone who will run a back end kitchen, and exactly I understood the need, and I think that has been an opportunity.
Mr. Valamani, you know, while it's great going for you in terms of the IPO subscription, but there is a lot of competition as well that you have. Related space, I would say, you know, purely from a stock market angle. You know, there is, without mentioning, there are 2 immediate competitors. How do you plan to beat competition? Because clearly the opportunity is there. Most have identified that. So today it's you, tomorrow there could be another player. What distinguishes you from the rest in the market?
डरा हुए लोग कंपटीशन देखते हैं बाकी अपॉर्चुनिटी देखते हैं so I believe there is truly no competition in Indian healthcare industry. It is only minuscule, that too presumed, assumed competition. The market is so big in a billion population, 10 such Thyrocares can comfortably smile and do business. I have a reason to believe that the competition today is not between 4 or 5 organized players. It is between the organized and the unorganized. Organized is hardly 15% of the industry. 85% is unorganized. I don't have a reason to worry about a competition till 2025.
So tell me the big picture then. How many tests per day are you conducting right now? And by 2020, how much are you targeting? Because I'm sure you have a target number. If you don't have a target number, how will you keep your backend ready? So what are you working and how are you preparing your backend?
CAGR for number of sample, number of test, turnover, number of employees, PAT, EBITDA, all have been 25% year over year for last 5 years.
So CAGR 25%, rule of 72, divide 72 by 25, which means in 2.5 years you will double.
Absolutely.
Okay. You know, on a large base?
I must tell you that doubling is could be an underestimating statement, but let me agree with you right now.
As you grow, the second big question which we will ask you is that your return ratios, will they get challenged? Because as you grow, you will spread your operations also very thin. It's very easy to get a 40% return on equity on a small base, but as you grow, you would be expanding. You would be expanding outside Mumbai. You would be, you know, having a regional presence. When you will expand, you will have to hire or buy real estate. You'll have to hire and buy machines. So during that expansion mode, could your return ratios get punctured?
I think EBITDA, which is currently I am enjoying, is the only risk in business.
Okay.
People say high EBITDA businesses are more under some kind of scanner for disruptions.
Yes, that's what it is.
So I believe I need to intelligently reduce my EBITDA over the next 10 years period from 40% to 30%. I have to.
And why would you do that?
Because growth will always be traded off with EBITDA.
How much innovation can you do in this business?
I don't think in this business I did any innovation, nor anyone in this last 30 years have done any innovation. It is nothing but consolidation, focus, build up, and create a good balance sheet.
No, but
Volumes,
let's actually probe that point a bit. Are you saying that growth need not necessarily come at the cost of EBITDA, but you will consciously reduce your EBITDA in order to get growth?
There are a few growth drivers. Number one, India is an young country. So in youth, there is no healthcare need. So currently the industry is highly dwarfed. So by year 2025, you would have a 3 times, 4 times bigger market size because of the
Aging.
age factor. The next one is Indian per capita income is growing. And first people buy a car, then they buy a house, and then they are wondering how long will I live to enjoy my life, and they have to go for a preventive testing. So that business is yet to come to size. And with competition for the last 10 years, the prices of diagnostic tests have been going down and down. So the affordability is improving. So if you look at it, there are many factors will add 2% to the growth other than the normal growth, which is because of the population and the business.
So why would EBITDA margins go down?
EBITDA margin go down because, yes, you also said in the long run, everyone will copy successful models, and all models will come under some pricing pressure. So if it is challenged, you have some comfort to sacrifice. And let me tell you, last 2.5 years back, I tried to reduce my EBITDA, but I have got an increased profit.
Okay.
You don't have any debt on your books, do you?
And company for the last 20 years had never borrowed.
Okay.
So
Is there
what will you do eventually with all the money that you raise?
Oh, this money is raised not into the company, it is raised for the outgoing investors.
It is for the investors. Okay, now, preventive healthcare is expanding, but again, the number of tests, the variety of tests which would be done in preventive healthcare, they are also expanding. I mean, the doctor will now tell you, instead of 2, give me a test report of 5, instead of 5, give me a test report of 10. So rather than focusing on how much money you're making per test, is there a scope that as the complexity will go higher, you will actually end up making more money?
See, obviously the money, you have 2 options. Either you take profit from the customer or take it from the vendor.
Okay.
Customary approach is profit from the customer. I have decided to do it from the vendor. So when the volumes grow, my vendor is going to make me rich.
Okay.
And grow the volume.
What you're doing is not rocket science.
Absolutely simple, straightforward philosophy.
So if a corporate house decides that, look, I want to copy what Thyrocare is doing, and here's my 500 crore, are you not worried about that?
500 crore will not do anything here. $1 billion is needed.
Okay.
And if he does $1 billion, he will be one among the 4. He will be the 5th.
But sir, you started with 2 lakhs.
Oh, my jamana alag tha. I think today you can't do what the hall was done 20 years back. True. I had a comfort of pricing, market was open, no one understood in healthcare industry what is a balance sheet. So I did a journey. I think today, if without $1 billion, a man cannot imagine to be in the top 4. So that, ye rate nahi to, ye volume, not possible. Without this volume, this rate is not possible. So in fact, there is a checkmate.
Yeah, it is a case of the chicken and the egg. The question though, Dr. Velumani, is also this. So, I don't want you to give me numbers because you are in a silent period right now, I understand. But let's assume that there is an X% top line growth that you will do and your EBITDA margins will come off. Are we to assume that your profit growth will lag your sales growth, or ever so slightly because your EBITDA margins will come off?
I think we have maintained a 42 plus or minus 2% EBITDA margin for 10 long years.
Right.
I don't think there could be truly a concern there.
No concern there. But you yourself said that you will reduce your EBITDA margins.
If growth is there, why will I reduce? It will be only when growth is challenged, I should be sacrificing.
But so the focus is on increasing the volumes.
I think the industry grows 17% plus or minus 2%. The organized players grow 20% plus or minus 3%. and the top 25 guys grow 30% plus or minus 5%. And if I am not around that zone, that means something is wrong with me. I need to then look at the strategy and pricing.
So then till 2020, do you believe your EBITDA margins could well stay in this healthy trend of northwards of 35%?
I would say last 5 years are supposed to be continued for at least next 5 years.
But you will not change your business model. You committed to that. You will not be tempted to set up a front end. ThyroCare is the back end kitchen, and it will remain like that irrespective of your size.
I have been telling in the entrepreneurial motivation lectures, there are only two kinds of people. One who has succeeded, other who could not focus.
So your focus is to remain the back end.
So mine is very much behind as a back end and run this business for the 100,000 laboratories in the country. I want to be their kitchen.
What about the wage cost? I mean, as you grow higher.
Oh, in my balance sheet, my employee cost is single digit.
Can that go higher?
It has not gone higher for 10 years, but I should allow it to go high.
Okay.
I should intelligently increase it so that the growth is not compromised.
Closing comments, we know the subscription levels, which means demand is more, supply is less. A lot of people who want to genuinely buy your stock, not for the IPO pop, they've not got because the size was small. What should they do now?
It's very difficult for me to tell because the company is not needing funds, so I don't have any ideas to go for an opportunity. Right. I think if I love you, I can give you my share, but that also I have to do it on the exchange. I can't do it offline.
So, okay, actually, so that's a good follow-up to ask you. You don't foresee ThyroCare coming to the equity markets over the course of after this listing for the next 2-3 years at least?
I think for the last 10 years, the balance sheet had at least 50 to 80 crores of cash.
Right.
I think this trend also will not change.
Okay.
Once I exhaust all my cash, I am entitled for at least a 500 to 1,000 crore debt.
Right.
And I don't think knocking once again back the capital market is anywhere planned.
Right.
It should be well managed with internal accruals.
Right. Good having you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, question.
Just wanted to thank him.
And when is the listing date?
9th May is planned, if things go all right.
And we hope to see you on ET Now 9th of May.
Should be there.
Yeah. Appreciate the time. Good luck, and thank you for joining us.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.